Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Free-to-Play Weekly, your show about free-to-play online games. Unfortunately, this episode will be audio only due to technical difficulties, but next week we'll resume the show as normal. In this week's news, Raiderz Studios, the developers behind Smite and Tribes Ascend, seem to be coming full circle with the announcement of their next title. The studio announced on the forums that they'd be returning to the world of Global Agenda and producing a sequel aptly named, what else but Global Agenda 2. The studio acknowledged that Global Agenda had taught them a lot about developing content, balancing, and the free-to-play model. But when they asked what the community wanted the most, the overwhelming answer was a new version of Global Agenda with a PvP focus. And so, Global Agenda 2 will apparently be focused on PvP and will include assets from both the original game and entirely new maps, modes, weapons, and more. Interestingly, there will be no open-world PvE nor raids, at least not at this time. So doesn't that make it Tribes, a futuristic shooter without PvE? What do you think? The open beta for District 187 Sin Streets has begun. The game that pits SWAT versus gangsters is opening its doors once more, but features an additional 3 maps and 4 new weapons. The 3 new maps offer players distinctive battlegrounds, such as a destroyed factory, maze-like sewer tunnels, and the SS Steuben, a harmless old cargo ship that just so happens to hold tons of drugs and human prisoners. Fans of the classic MechWarrior series need not wait any longer for the open beta, which will officially start on October 16th. If you played MechWarrior Online before, you might want to check it out again. The game just recently received a large patch which added graphical improvements, new particle effects, and other tweaks. With the start of the open beta, fans will have access to the game's first set of cosmetic customization, with options that include exterior camo and interior cockpit items. And yes, Fuzzy Dice and Bobble Hula Girl are confirmed. The developers over at Digital Extremes have just released their latest dev diary for Warframes, and showcased gameplay from 2 specific characters players will be able to choose from. The video outlines the powers of 2 previously unheard of Warframes called Loki and Mag, both with their own unique set of abilities. Loki fancies himself a master trickster, with abilities that allow him to cloak, create a copy of himself, and switch places with the enemy. Mag, on the other hand, loves to alter the environment around his enemies, allowing him to pull enemies into environmental hazards, place reflective bubbles on people which bounce projectiles back at foes, and the aptly named ability called Crush, which, as you might have guessed, levitates all enemies around Mag, folds then crushes them into tiny little balls, all in sync. Epic. Warframe is looking to quickly become one of the must-play free-to-play games of 2012. A Dead Space MOBA in the works? That's certainly one of the possibilities for the devs at Visceral Games. The developers most famous for Dead Space were spotted posting job openings for an upcoming PC action title. One of those openings is for a global community manager that specifically requires, quote, an unhealthy passion for MOBA games. The developers went on to explain that they were looking for someone with experience in MOBAs, action RTS, action RPG, or related genres. So why do we think the game is going to be free to play? The hint lies within the community manager position, where it mentions that the individual will also work with Play for Free's third-party operations. Play for Free is of course the free-to-play extension of EA. So while the upcoming game may not be a Dead Space MOBA, we could certainly see something along the lines of a shooter MOBA such as Super Monday Night Combat. Then again, it could have nothing to do with Dead Space or FPS. What are your thoughts? So, you like mech games, but MechWarrior Online isn't your style? Never fear, because the fast-paced upcoming mech shooter Hawken has just announced its first set of closed beta dates. Granted, the upcoming beta round is on the far side of short, running from just October 26th through the 29th, but it is the beginning of larger beta events, all leading up to the December 12th launch. Players can enlist now in order to reserve their in-game call sign before the beta actually begins. So if you fancy a name such as Sweet Panda Lord, I suggest signing up ASAP. Be sure to stay tuned to MMO Bomb for beta keys as the Hawken launch draws closer. And the game of the week is DC Universe Online. With the unfortunate closing of City of Heroes, players looking for a new superhero home may find solace in DC Universe Online. It's a 3D superhero action MMO published by Sony Online Entertainment. In DCUO, players can create their own unique superhero or supervillain and battle their way through iconic locations from DC Comics. Fans of the various DC cartoons will be happy to know that large portions of the game's characters are fully voice acted by the original voice actors. DCUO features physics-based combat, where players can pick up buses and other objects, run up the sides of buildings at lightning-fast speed, fight alongside iconic superheroes and villains, and engage in epic raids. The game features a wide array of unique PvP and PvE content with regular updates. That's all for this week, but as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave us a comment. And until next week, you can go to mmobomb.com for more free-to-play action.